Where it's going, we don't know. Just gotta go with the flow.
Hi, I'm Remi Nicole, and I'm going to talk you through my debut album, which is called My Conscience and I. The first track is called Go With The Flow, and I think that was like a really apt first track because it's about when I first got the opportunity to do music, and I was like, oh, what should I do? This is scary, and everyone was just like, just go with it, just go with the flow, see where it leads you. And every lyric in that is basically about me saying, alright, I'm just going to do it, just jump straight in and do it. Rock and Roll number 2 is the song that I think was the first song that sort of got me signed, that everyone heard. It was a song that I wrote after being abused by my family for listening to music that wasn't R&B and hip hop like solely, because I do listen to that, but just not like, I just don't just eat that all the time. Like, I'm happy to consume all sorts of music. And yeah, that was kind of written out of frustration, and it was the first song I played to my producer, Johnny Douglas, and he loved it and he put it on his MySpace, and then I got the song. Track 3 is called New Old Days. It's basically about growing up in the 80s and 90s really, when we didn't have like pressures of life because we were kids, and all I had to do was go home from school, do like one piece of homework or something, if that, and then just watch really good TV like Fun House with Pat Sharp, and it's just kind of nostalgic. Track 4 is a track called Fed Up. It's basically, most of the songs are sort of self-explanatory, and this one is as well. Fed Up is about a friend of mine who sometimes pisses me off a lot and just gets on my nerves, and she's lovely, don't get me wrong, love her, but she really ground my gears. It's an expression from Family Guy, but anyway, she really pissed me off, and I wrote Fed Up about her.
You have to accept that this is me and this is who I love to be. I'll never.
Number 5 is a song called Nighty. It's pretty much the bane of my life. Like, a lot of guys find me quite intimidating, don't know why, and they like don't like it that I'm better at things than them, like maybe football. I used to be quite nifty at football, used to be quite good at like playing pool and like boy stuff, like skateboarding and stuff, and my ex-boyfriend really didn't like it, and he always made me feel about that big, and that song was about him.
I know where to go from.
Number 6 is quite a sad song. It's a song called Lights Out, and it's actually about one of my best friends, Stevie. She was in a relationship for a long time, like 7 years or something, and I'm not sure towards the end of that 7 years that she was actually in the right place to be in that relationship. I think that they were sort of holding on for the sake that they were together for 7 years, and I could see it was hurting her, it was hurting him, and it was quite like a really horrible time, and like being her friend and everything, it's quite a difficult time to be around, because obviously you have to be a friend and you have to have like your shoulder there ready for her to cry on and stuff, and it was just a bit sad because I just thought that there's not really like, they're not in this relationship for the right reasons anymore, and I took the liberty of writing a song about it, which she doesn't listen to because it makes her cry.
You read Heat magazine.
Number 7 is Tabloid Queen. I think it might be one of my favourite songs on the album, and it's just kind of like observation on like sort of today's culture. Like, my younger cousin is 17. I feel like she sort of lives maybe not the way that she would actually live if she didn't read tabloids and like Heat magazine and stuff. Like, Heat magazine will tell you like wear this or wear that, or like it highlights people's like bad stuff, and I don't think that these sort of magazines like breed individuality, and they don't make you want to have your own mind, because you just think, oh, whatever Britney Spears or whoever wears that, so I'm going to wear that. and you don't really get your own sort of identity. And I noticed that, observed that from my own family and from people around me. So.
You tell me that I am
Number 8 is a song called Right Side of Me. It's my worst song, I think, on the album, because it was about a feeling that I had about someone that I don't have anymore, and I totally don't have this feeling anymore. It's actually about the same guy that the night it was about, the guy that was intimidated by me before he turned sour. So yeah, like, you know, sometimes you just love people and it sucks really. And this song's like a nice love song, but I don't mean it anymore.
You know it's summer when.
Number 9 is Go Mr. Sunshine, which was like my first single. That song was just bored at work, looked out the window. This is what happens in London when the sun comes out. Very easy, it took me about 5 minutes to write, and that's that song.
Sold my soul.
Number 10, Soul Back, probably my next favourite song. It was about when I was working at this job, where I was working in an office job, and I felt like I was selling my soul, like, by working there, because I had to, but I wasn't getting anything back from it, like apart from money, which was fine. But I thought, like, if I work really hard, then kind of karma and it will come back to me, and I felt like nothing was coming back to me. It did in the end, actually, but at the time of writing this song, I felt like I was giving like myself to this job, even though I hated it, but I was getting nothing back from it because I was an actress and I had to do this job in order to live while waiting for auditions, but I wasn't getting any auditions, so it was like I was just doing this job and that was it. And that was like a really horrible time, although the people at the job were lovely and everything, but that song just reminds me of having to work, like being a struggling actress basically, which thankfully I'm not anymore. 11 is a song called Dates from Hell, and it's basically that. It's about going on bad dates. My friend has been on a lot of bad dates, and she always comes back and tells me about them, and I've not really been on many dates in my life. I've probably only been on about 4 dates in my life, but most of them have been pretty awful. And it's just from like my girlfriends like just coming back and going, oh, he was awful, or oh, he did this, and oh, it just makes me laugh. And I'm not really a fan of dates, I'd rather not actually go on a date, but some of the experiences are mine and some of the experiences are other people's, and it's just about those awful dates that you have to do, but there's no other way of kind of meeting people, I suppose, unless you go and date them. But I'll remain single forever because I don't do dates.
I'm so sick of arguing.
The last song on my album is called Inside of Me, and it's basically about the struggle that I have with myself. I constantly argue with myself, which is pretty much why the album's called what it's called as well. Like, I know things are wrong that I do, but I still do it, and then I'll argue with myself like, why did I do it? And then I'll just be really angry with myself that I did it. And it's like there's like an inside of me, there's like another person that like's always like mouthing back at me, and I'm not mad, but I could be bordering on it because I do argue with myself more than anyone else. And yeah, and then it will make me feel, then I'll put myself in bad moods more often than good moods, and this song's about that. So that's the explanation of my album. I don't think you actually need that because it is quite self-explanatory in its lyrics, but hopefully it does help if you are a bit thick and you don't know that. But I hope you like it.
My gut feeling.